Rage, riots, and death. Looking back at the Pepsi 349 debacle and how a seemingly bright marketing strategy went very, very wrong. Hello viewers, today we'll share with you the truth about Pepsi's deadly contest, so stay tuned and let's get into the depth of it. Pepsi 349, the beginning. The Pepsi 349 saga began in 1984, when beverage behemoth PepsiCo Inc. introduced a promotional campaign in order to increase market share against its bitter rival Coca-Cola. At the time, Coke was miles ahead of Pepsi in the so-called soft drink wars. Pepsi needed to push back and gain some ground. Christopher Sinclair, who was then PepsiCo's CEO at only 38 years old, decided on an exciting new marketing campaign to get more people excited about buying Pepsi. Number Fever. After a generally successful rollout in the US, Number Fever was expanded to a few Latin American countries, which was home to some of the world's largest soft drink consumers. Years later, on January 15, 1992, Pepsi Cola Products, Philippines, Inc. formally applied for a permit with the Department of Trade and Industry to conduct the nationwide Number Fever campaign in the Philippines. The promo was simple. Buyers of Pepsi Cola products, Pepsi, 7-Up, Mirinda, and Mountain Dew, could take home the amount printed underneath the bottle caps or crowns if the corresponding 3-digit number matches the one Pepsi announces as the winner for that day. Amounts range from as little as P100 to as much as P1 million. Before we move on, if you're enjoying this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated on our future uploads. Now let's get back to the video. An immediate success. Almost immediately after the campaign started in February 1992, it proved to be an instant hit. People began buying Pepsi products, keeping the caps and crowns, and then waiting for the nightly announcement of winners on ABS-CBN's TV Patrol newscast. By the time the regular run of the promo ended on May 8, some 51,000 people had won the minimum prize of P100, while 17 lucky buyers each took home the big prize of P1 million. Various news reports said Pepsi's monthly sales increased from $10 million to $14 million, and its market share rose from 19.4% to 24.9% for the duration of the promotion. And because of this huge success of Number Fever, PCPPI got greedy and applied for an extension of the promo for 5 more weeks. Beginning of the devilish nightmare. On the evening of May 25, 1992, it was announced that 349 was the winning number. Ordinarily, only a few buyers would turn up to collect their prize, but this time, tens of thousands of people came forward, holding in their hands a cap or crown with the number 349. For the company, clearly there had been a computer error concerning the printing of the winning numbers. If it had went ahead and paid all the people who had the winning number, Pepsi reportedly would have had to shell out as much as $32 billion, which was simply unjustifiable. However, on May 28, after a few careful reviews of the process, PCPPI announced that 349 was the winning number, but only those crowns with the matching security codes would be honored. The company published a list of the cash prizes worth P100 to P50,000 with the specific security codes and said that it would not be dispersing the cash prizes to the 349 claimants whose codes did not match. Instead, Pepsi said it would offer them P500 as a gesture of goodwill. Many of the claimants did say yes to the goodwill offer, a total of 486,170 in fact, and according to reports, Pepsi coughed up over P240 million to all of them. However, there were still a whole lot of people demanding to get the full amount in their crowns. Riots erupted outside the Pepsi factory gates in Quezon City. Angry claimants threw rocks and homemade explosives at corporate headquarters, and delivery trucks were vandalized, overturned, and even burned. The final verdict. It didn't take long before the Pepsi 349 claimants started to organize themselves into groups that had names like United 349 and Solid 349. One of the most prominent, however, was called Coalition 349 and was led by a man named Vicente Del Fierro, Jr. As many as 22,000 people filed around 687 civil suits and over 5,200 criminal complaints against Pepsi to do just that. Del Fierro even hired an American lawyer and filed a case against the company in New York. However, the court dismissed the suit and said it should be heard in the Philippines. In one of those suits, a group called Ugnayan 349 filed a demand letter to Pepsi with the Quezon City RTC in November 1992. 4 years later, in 1996, the RTC rendered judgment that said the plaintiffs were not entitled to their crowns, but ordered PCPPI to pay each of them P10,000 as moral damages. Both Pepsi and the plaintiffs filed appeals and took it all the way to the Supreme Court, which in 2007 rendered a verdict that referenced similar other cases filed across the country, all of which by then had already been settled. So the SC decision read, "Final and executory rulings have settled that 349 crowns bearing the wrong security code are not winning crowns. Hence, petitioner PCPPI is not liable to pay the amounts printed on the crowns to their holders, nor is PCPPI liable for damages thereon." The actual cases involving the Pepsi 349 incident may have since been resolved and have slowly dissipated into the mists of history, but for those who lived through it, especially the thousands who fought for the right to be heard and acknowledged, the story lives on.